All right, Miles, let's talk Los Angeles Chargers here a little bit. Look, obviously the season did not end the way they wanted to, losing the wild card round the way they did, but we've got some news, some information coming out, Miles, that shows that the Chargers' future is pretty bright, and we think it's all due to one man in particular.
Yeah, Nick, and the Chargers' future is bright, but it could be brighter if they make the right moves this offseason. And that's why we want to know in the comments below, what do you think, or even who do you think the Chargers should target in free agency or the draft? Let us know what you're thinking. Who is kind of tickling your fancy? Who do you want to see on this Chargers team? Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, what are the new odds out there, on the Chargers, and why is things looking up for them?
Yes, you mentioned odds, right? So obviously the Chiefs capped off their Super Bowl victory. Congratulations to the Chiefs and Chiefs fans. But now that the Super Bowl is done and behind us, it's on to look forward to 2023. And the sports books have come out and released their odds for teams to win the Super Bowl next year. And if you look through this list, Miles, I'm just going to go through the FanDuel sportsbook list. A lot of them are very, very similar. Minor deviations between the major sports books, but generally they're pretty similar. You look at the top of the list, right? You got your usual suspects. You got the Chiefs, the Bills, the Eagles, the Bengals, the 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys. And then what do you know, Miles? Right there, not too far from the pack, is the Los Angeles Chargers, right? I think they're number 8 overall in the National Football League for the best odds to win the Super Bowl, not just go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl next year out of every single team in the NFL. I think this is really surprising when I first saw this because I looked at this, the teams that are behind them that have less odds. I look at the Packers, the Lions, everyone loves. The Jaguars are really good, young, talented team. The Jets, the Los Angeles Rams won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. They've got talent. The Vikings won 12, 13 games last season. Go on and on down the list. And the fact that the Chargers right there are number 8, top 8 or 9, depending on the sportsbook you use, for the best odds to win the Super Bowl next year, Mice, tells me that Vegas, which is the smart money we talk about all the time, Vegas is where they put the money where their mouth is when they make these predictions, that Vegas believes Justin Herbert can be at the same level as a Mahomes, as a Burrow, as a Josh Allen. Because I don't think the talent around him is nearly as good as in LA as it is for some of those other folks. And I think Vegas, the smart money, thinks Herbert is something special and he's only going to get better. And we're going to see something really exciting next year with that guy under center. Give me your thoughts on these odds, Mize, and everything with the Chargers and Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because if you look at all the factors around the team, and when Vegas puts odds out on a team, they take everything into consideration, whether it is for sure or not, because they have to. And the few things that you think of when you're thinking about that, Nick, is Keenan Allen allegedly to get cut from the team. That's a big weapon, a cap casualty potentially from the team. So that's something that they take into account. You have the coach. The coaching situation isn't nearly as good as your Kansas City, your San Francisco, your Buffalo, your Philadelphia, even Cincinnati. All those teams have, I would say, in my opinion, a more proven, a more stable coaching position. I think Staley is like in and out of being on the hot seat all the time. So that's another option there, Nick. And then there's a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. We never really got to see that defense of what it was supposed to be this offseason. When they built it, it was supposed to be like one of the best defenses in the NFL. Then J.C. Jackson gets hurt and other numerous injuries to the defensive side of the ball. It just really didn't quite pan out. But despite all of those things, they're still pretty high up in the odds favorites to win the Super Bowl. And as you said, it has to be because of Justin Herbert. He is a phenomenal quarterback. Coming out of Oregon, everyone was talking about this guy. Nobody really had him at the top of their list, but he's on everybody's list because of his physical tools, because of his arm strength, because of his talent. And he really just blew me away how well he translated to the NFL. So I think that this is a good call by Vegas. This is clearly some smart money because I wouldn't be so upset to put my money on Justin Herbert and the Chargers to win the Super Bowl next year.
Well, it's one of those interesting things, right? Because they're in the same division as the Chiefs. So if the Chiefs have great odds, by extension, the Chargers have bad odds, right? And you look at the rest of the division, the Broncos got in Sean Payton, right? So their odds obviously improved a little bit. They're going to probably be better, most likely, this coming season than under Hackett. The Raiders, who knows what's going to happen there? They could even get an Aaron Rodgers. You better believe Vegas is pricing in a big move potentially from the Raiders side. And yet, despite all that, despite all the volatility, despite all the fact, hey, how good of a coach is Brandon Staley? Hey, we think Kellen Moore is a great fit for Justin Herbert. Well, we really don't know yet how good that's going to be. Despite all of that, Vegas, the smart money, the big dollars, the people that make these decisions with billions and billions of dollars on the line say, hey, with Justin Herbert on this football team, they've got a chance. And I think that's something that not a lot of franchises can say when they look at their quarterback situation right now. And I think the Chargers fans should be excited based on that fact alone. There's going to be a lot of moves, a lot of volatility this offseason. There's going to be some cap casualties. They're going to have to really nail it in the draft, maybe make a key trade here or there, maybe some key restructurings as needed. But as long as they've got Justin Herbert, as Vegas and the odds makers will tell you, this football team has a chance.